Well, I just heard the news today. Seems my life is going to change.
Oh.
With arms wide open. Anyway. You know what's funny when his bandmates would talk to him and be like, yeah, you're not religious though. Like, like you don't live up to any of these values. And his response was, I feel like I have to sing about it. And it's like, okay, I guess.
That is kind of weird.
Feels like a lot of born again people where it's like, I like to look at the sky and think of Jesus.
Think of Jesus.
I'm not going to change any of my habits or attitudes or become a better person, but I like to think of Jesus. Just like this podcast, the famous Jesus podcast.
Oh, well, we are famously very into talking about God and Jesus on this podcast.
He's my boy.
My boy.
He's my special boy.
Yeah, we definitely do that every time.
It's another special podcast. Special, you know why. With me, Ross and Jason.
Let's ride the short bus.
I wanted to watch WrestleMania, but ESPN is absurdly expensive.
Yeah, our Lord and Savior Walt Disney has decided to price the package of ESPN with outrageously.
You know what's funny? Outside America, you can watch it on Netflix.
Yep.
Just not here.
That's funny.
They price it with ESPN.
Well, they got
I'm
a few
not
extra
subscribing
bills.
to ESPN because the only thing I would want to watch is wrestling. None of the other sports.
And then how many... are even the old pay-per-views on there? No, because they're on Netflix, right? So it's like, just to watch new pay-per-views, I have to pay $30 a month for a once-a-month pay-per-view.
Well, to be fair, you get the bang for your buck of Hulu with ads.
Oh.
And Disney Plus with ads.
Oh.
For $35 roughly.
Hey, did you think we ever just reinvented cable but worse?
Yes, more expensive and worse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what's so funny about the streaming model is it was never sustainable.
No.
Because eventually they were going to have to go, oh, this costs lots of money, and there's a reason why cable was built the way that it was, because they found the perfect balance of being able to fund everything and keep everything going. So despite the fact that Netflix ate everybody's lunch, they eventually still had to, streaming had to put ads in things.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before, and it's you can have like one streaming service. And when you go beyond that, then you dilute it so much that either you have to raise your rates or you have to start basically being streaming cable.
Yeah, and like when everyone was selling their crap to these streaming services, it was fine. There was like, what, 3, really?
Yeah.
2 or 3? Hulu, Netflix, and then I guess kind of HBO-ish. But once we got beyond that, like you said, it's like, because everyone was like, well, I want to make money like Netflix, because Netflix has their own shows, and why am I selling my shows to them?
Well, it's not like it
I'll
was
just have my own streaming service.
Necessarily illogical. Because there was a point when the most watched shows on Netflix was like Friends, Seinfeld, and The Office. And Peacock went, but we own The Office. So if we just make a streaming service, they'll just pay us to watch The Office constantly. And it's like, well, no one's going to just pay to watch The Office over and over again.
Well, not for The Office, but I did pay Peacock the $2.99 when they first started out.
To watch football, or to watch WWE.
Yeah, to watch wrestle. But once it got up to like $8, $10, it's like, no, that's okay.
Well, and the network was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like them doing all of their own little private deals with all of these. Ugh.
That sucks. And I know, like, the reality is they've made so much money from doing that, and it's probably a way to mask how bad the business is overall.
Well, that's funny because they always quote how successful they're doing because of online engagement. But in reality, they're not actually, like, numbers wise, not actually being viewed that much. It's just there's a lot, they create a lot of a buzz social media wise.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the network was probably peak for me.
Oh, I love WWE
It
Network.
was so good. Like, it was built great. I could just sit and watch bad wrestling for hours.
Well, and it was made for wrestling. So, like, it was organized in such a way that it made sense for wrestling. And you miss the network every time you go. Because eventually, like, Peacock started to finally kind of organize it better. But then they went from Peacock to Netflix, and God, you immediately miss the network again. Because you're like, man, it was just so good there. Everything was where I could find it easily. They had, like, all of their shit on there. They owned some tapes, like footage from like the mid 70s that you could go watch, and it was great.
Yeah. I started old WWE, the earliest, WCW, the earliest I could get, and I just watched. And I watched dailies, and then I would watch the pay-per-views, and it was just, it was so good. I got to see the early NWO stuff when the Outsiders showed up, and it was so good.
So good.
The freaking Dungeon of Doom, where the original heel Hogan, when he shaved his mustache and wore black, that was his original heel run that everybody forgets happened before the NWO thing.
Whoa, brother.
Before Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He's like, I just got back from filming Three Ninjas 3. And it's like, dude, don't brag. You're not making millions filming Three Ninjas, bro. Thunder in Paradise that was canceled after one season. Sweet.
Listen up, brother.
What, were you in Suburban Commando? Is that what made you your billions, Suburban Commando?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was it.
The gimmick was funny, but if you think about it, it's like, what are you talking about? You're not making movies.
Hollywood Hulkster. Well, that's part of the fun of the gimmick, is that he's a delusional asshole.
Yeah. I'm so much better than you. Okay.
Sure.
This is what this podcast is good for. Everybody coming here for wrestling conversation.
You know what?
Part of pop culture. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Especially American pop culture.
There are so many wrestling fans out there. So many.
There used to be. I don't know about now.
There were Prime tickets for WrestleMania going for like $20,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's insane.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Insane.
And, well, I don't want to get on wrestling soapbox, but we got stuff to talk about.
We do. I will point out, though, that remember when there were pay-per-views where they would give away huge chunks of the seats so they could fill it?
Oh, yeah. Also known as AEW, almost any point in their run.
Just stand outside the stadium, and eventually they'll let you in.
Eventually you'll be in there, baby.
And then they can botch an exploding barbed wire match.
they've blocked off half the fucking seats, but whatever.
They want to have their own women's division, and they can't get the men's division right, and then the women's division is one of the worst divisions. It reminds you of how WWE has grabbed all of the really good women wrestlers, because the women wrestlers in AEW are terrible.
They're really bad.
They're really bad.
They're really bad. It's shocking how bad they are. I mean, to be fair, Red, I have not kept up with AEW in about a year and a half, but
maybe they dramatically improved in that year.
Yeah, sure.
Don't they have
we'll go with that.
Sasha Banks or whatever she's calling herself now?
Mercedes Moné.
Oh. She's actually really good. I don't know how she's doing in AEW, but
bad. I mean, well, I know she's had a lot of botches, and like what last I was paying attention, which was right around the time she went over there.
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't doing good. The problem is they have this weird. Well, again, last I was paying attention, they have this weird attitude of like, well, we're here and we can do our own thing creatively now, and it's shit. And it's like, yeah, there's a reason why like
It's like
they
TNA
have people
bad.
to tell you what to do. Oh, TNA was better. TNA had people with more fucking talent, if I'm honest. One of the greatest wrestlers to ever walk the earth went to TNA at one point, but fuck. AEW's Perk Angle, no doubt. The craziest
So
man in
good.
wrestling when he was perked out of his tits.
So good. AJ Styles was there.
Oh, AJ
Robbie
Styles,
Roode.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe was underserved in his run in WWE.
Very much so. And that was the other problem too with that era of WWE was like they build people up in NXT and they'd be so fun and so good,
And then
they'd hit the main roster and they just piss all over them, and it's like, oh.
Remember when they ruined what were they calling them? The Viking Warriors?
Well, they were the War Raiders in NXT.
Well, so
and then when
just
they
to
went to the main
clarify,
roster,
these were Viking-esque characters in NXT, the developmental product. And then Vince McMahon was like, well, let's bring him up because apparently he really liked the show Vikings.
yeah,
So they brought them up, and then they changed the name to the they were the
Viking
War Raiders
Experience.
to the Viking Experience, which is a terrible name. And I was
Sounds like a
just,
shitty prog rock band.
just call them the Viking Raiders.
Seriously.
Like what you don't?
And
want
that's
to
what
say
they did
war?
eventually. But no, they didn't want to say war, because advertisers or something.
That's so
And it was great because
stupid.
when they'd come out, people would be like, war, 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 because they were super over. Like,
Really
crazy over. Yes.
Ivar, for a big guy, can do a lot of stuff.
Wrestle.
So for those of you who have checked out for wrestling, wrestling is a big part of culture. I'm going to tell you exactly why wrestling is cool. It's really stupid. It's basically the equivalent of like watching a play, but just the parts where they fight.
Yeah.
And the cooler the fight scene is, the cooler it is. It's all like fabricated drama and beef and whatnot, but it's also like an athletic demonstration, but they tell stories in the ring. Like it's both stupid and fun and cool. And there's something odd about like wrestling by all rights shouldn't exist. It is a weird thing. It is weird. Trying to describe somebody, okay, so they have this thing called professional wrestling. Oh, so they compete? No, they're not actually competing. They're pretending to have fights with one another. Oh, well, what do you mean they're pretending? Well, like they pretend that they're doing cool moves and having fights, but in reality, they know who's going to win. Oh, so like a movie or a play or something? Sure, but they actually do hurt each other, and it's really physical, and then it gets really stupid. Oh. And it started out in carnivals when they were trying to put on shows to trick people that these were actual fights.
To bilk people out of money.
Yeah.
They, in fact, so much so they had their own language to talk to each other, and you wouldn't know what they were saying, so they could bilk you out of even more money. And you were called a mark.
Yeah, you were called
Great.
a mark for believing in wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
which is what scammers call people.
Yeah. Carnies, Nomads. Smell of cabbage.
Small hands. It's very weird. It's very weird. There's no way this naturally exists. It's created out of the ether of insanity, sort of thing.
What do you mean? What? No.
But then there's like real life drama behind the scenes. Like getting into wrestling isn't just the like buying it or watching the spectacle. It's getting into the stupidity of it. Like I love the jankiness. I love when Rey Mysterio and what's his name? When they fought over the custody of his son.
Oh, Eddie Guerrero?
Eddie Guerrero, when they weren't sure who had custody of his son, when they weren't sure who the father was, which which they would call a shoot in reality. In reality, of course, they know who the father was, but in
They were working the
kayfabe,
crowd.
really in kayfabe, I don't know who's the father of my son, and it's just stupid. Remember when? Who was it that was stalking AJ Styles' family? Was it Samoa Joe? And
I think
they
so.
would release like video of him hiding in the bushes, like taking video of his family. It's like, oh, I love it. I love every second of it. Which is what's funny because I don't necessarily think quote unquote man movies are back, but there's a little movie where we got a trailer for it called Street Fighter that hit recently that came through Comic-Con or CinemaCon, I'm sorry. And we got a trailer for Street Fighter. Now I'm gun shy from showing anything on this because I get copyright struck like crazy. But go watch the trailer. Feel free to pause this and go watch the trailer. It's really good. Now, really good in the stupid nonsense. It's funny when you watch it, you're like, is this going to be Shakespeare? Is this going to make me feel things? Well, no. But you don't have to, men movies are not really hard. You just got to be straightforward, fun, action, ridiculousness. And that's what Street Fighter is. It's funny when we talk about adapting a Marvel movie. How difficult. It's not that hard. Make Captain America look really cool. Why is this considered so difficult to do? Look, all I need is Cody Rhodes saying boom. And I'm like, yeah!
Hell yeah, with his dumbass Guile hair.
Do it, Guile! And see, that's the funny thing about his hair. It's like, that hair is ridiculous. And I love it.
No, it's great.
No one should have that haircut. That is not a standard military haircut because he's in the Air Force. He looks amazing.
It's pretty great. I
want it as stupid and ridiculous as possible. I want it over the top. I want people punching cars. And they're doing that. They're punching the car. It shouldn't be that complicated to do a movie. Like these fun guy movies. And that, well, before I get really far, because this is going to pivot into other stuff. I should have gave a warning now, but hopefully Jason's seen the trailer. But what do you think, Ross?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it is
am
crazy.
very excited.
It's the first time I was like, I actually want to see this, as opposed to I guess I gotta see Superman or whatever.
The joy of Superman and Fantastic Four.
The obligation view.
I mean, so far this trailer, all it's giving me are this is going to be awesome vibes, rather than the ones where we went out and we saw the trailer for Superman and the Fantastic Four, and we're like, what? Red flag number 1, red flag number 2, red flag number 3. This just looks awesome.
Well, and as a secret lover of the original Street Fighter movie, Raul Julia, one of my favorite actors of all time.
He was great.
He was awesome.
How janky and stupid that movie is, and I love every second of it. If I built my own arcade, that would be playing in those little TVs in the corner constantly.
Oh, God, yeah.
It would be that, Ninja Turtles.
Absolutely.
Just beautiful. And just the over-the-top, it doesn't have to be that hard or that complicated. It's like, whoa, the women look too sexy. And it's like, it's a guy movie. I don't know what you want.
Have you seen the video
That's
game?
such a dumb criticism of a movie. I mean, unless you actually are doing a movie about someone who was known to be, physically repulsive, why wouldn't you want to have somebody that's attractive in the role?
Well, what's the point? We're supposed to put giant fat people in it and then pretend they're just as good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny when
absolutely.
people
It reminds-
criticize very guy-leaning stuff, and it's like,
Uh-huh.
well, I don't like this, this, and this, and it's like, well, this isn't really like catering to my sensibilities. It's like, no, it isn't. It's not for you. Clearly, this movie's not for you. And it's weird because people get upset when it's like, you're not catering to me. And it's like, why? Why should they have to? You don't like it anyway.
Why does everything need to cater to you? Why can't I cater to other people with different tastes? Why are
Absolutely
you
not.
so self-absorbed and selfish that you think everything needs to cater to you?
Well, and we have
That's
a generation of
stupid.
people who feel like their minor annoyances of everything around them, everybody has to hear constantly, and then be
Uh-huh.
understood, and then adjusted, and then apologized for. What I showed it to my mother, and she's like, "That looks like fun." I was like, "Yeah, it does.
You're damn right.
I want to watch this movie. I want to watch the crap out of it." But that's what He-Man was supposed to be.
Yeah.
He-Man's like a 90% male movie. 90%, like, men have watched He-Man historically, period. And then you get the pronouns thing, and you're like, but people could wave that off with like a cute little joke. But then we get comments from the lady that plays like Tila or whatever.
Yes.
She was like, well, I had to deal with toxic masculinity on the film. It's like, excuse me.
Oh my god.
And then the director said that Skeletor is a representative of toxic masculinity. And it's like, what are you doing?
Oh my god!
This movie is an only male, like, only really men are interested in this movie. And you're shooting yourself in the face with what you're doing. Like, what are you doing? You're just going to ruin your chances. You're going to put stuff in it that'll just scare off men. The point is to be big and stupid. He-Man is already ridiculous.
It's a very silly concept. It was
It's
made to sell
ridiculous.
toys.
Yes.
Yep.
It's already a ridiculous
and not
concept.
just made to
Go ahead.
not just made to sell toys, made to sell toys to boys.
Well, the point is, it's so ridiculous that people who love it will just take, because boys will take stupidity. They will take wrestling because it's stupid. They'll take, with how over the top the Street Fighter trailer is, they'll take because it's stupid and fun. He-Man can only exist in a world that's stupid and fun. I don't think you could ever create a serious He-Man movie, thoughtful, serious He-Man movie, because it's just too ridiculous. It's like, oh, they fight with swords, and it's like they're caveman, medieval kind of, but then he has like a flying car. So what technology are we dealing with here? There's a guy with a fist. He fists people.
Oh,
His name is
hey.
He-Man. His name is He-Man.
He's super masculine man. Skeletor, just a ridiculous talking skeleton.
Yeah, a man with a body but has skull face. What's going on?
He's super jacked too for guys.
Very jacked. I mean, gaunt face, but very jacked.
Hopefully has muscles of sorts. I don't know. But then they don't do the ridiculous Skeletor. Like, you lean into the meme. You're not going to really, like, what you think you're going to make something that people are like, oh, well, I learned so much from the He-Man movie.
Yeah, well, we're reinventing the wheel, Brett. That's what we're going to do around here.
Like, the premise is too ridiculous to really embrace seriously. So don't. Just go stupid with it. But Street Fighter understood the assignment. They're like, oh, guys will like it, make it ridiculous and fun. Just fun. Like, why is fun so difficult?
Oh, it's just... But it's not real, Red. I gotta make it matter. It's gotta mean something.
We'll get Denis Villeneuve to direct the He-Man movie.
Direct He-Man.
Absolutely, as you should.
We'll get
I don't know.
long winding shots of desert scenes. And we'll be like, what is this?
This is definitely something that is modern. The fact that it's almost like we can't have fun anymore. I was
No.
actually watching a video earlier, and this guy was reacting to um, Love Shack by the B-52s. And one thing he said was, I don't think this would do well in if it was released today, because we have no whimsy. And we need to bring it back. My generation needs to bring whimsy back into things. And I completely agree. It's like almost outlawed to have fun anymore. It's like this movie can't just be fun. It has to have a message. It's like, well, no, it's entertainment. That doesn't mean it needs to have a message. That means it needs to be fun. You can have a message if you want, but if you let the message overtake the fun, you're not entertainment anymore. You're moralizing at that point. And I'll go get that from religion. Thank you.
It's like there's so many other movies that you can watch to get your messaging in. There was an Oscar winner recently. Go watch that. Like, do we really need to like talk about toxic masculinity in my He-Man movie?
Well, yes,
supposed
because
to
it's
be
toxically masculine.
The symbol of toxic masculinity. Okay, and then your movie will fail, and we'll all go watch Street Fighter, who has awesome women in it.
Yeah,
Chun-Li and Cammy, and like how much more do you need? Like, it's not very hard. It just make the stupid, ridiculous movie.
put the fun in the bag. All right.
Put the fun in the bag and step away. It's funny. The more time goes on, the more I realize how Bill Burr was correct, that it's like they see you having fun without them and they just want to ruin it.
Yep.
Because they're not interested in watching Street Fighter. They just don't like that you're having fun without them. So they're just like, well, I want to ruin your fun. I just don't like that you're. Oh, so if we change stuff, you'll watch the movie? No, I just don't like the messaging and the things that are in it. But you're not interested in watching the movie, even if we change it to cater to what you want? No. Well, then why are you listening to anybody who says they don't like the? It's just stupid. It's, oh well, there's just guys punching each other. Yeah, why is it so difficult? Like, wrestling is huge. Why is it so confusing that it's fun? Is it that hard?
It's just so boorish, Red. Ugh.
Well, then it's not for you.
It's I don't know how they end up thinking of this, but it's almost like they look at something and they, like you said, they look at it and they see that we're having fun, and they look at it and say, well, that's not fun to me. And then they say, well, I know what we need to do. We need to make it fun for me too. And so then they start warping it out into something it was never meant to be, and something that they wouldn't have wanted anyway, regardless of whether it was for them or not.
They were never going to like it.
There's no reason to cater it to them.
No.
They were never going to like it. It's like, who cares? Well, it's just, it's freaking toxic, and it's like it caters to male stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay. Like no guy was sitting here bitter with his arms crossed, going like, freaking romance movies out there, freaking pissing me off.
Freaking Barbie movie. Why
don't they put more guy stuff in it?
They should have a chick with big knockers in it. It'd be a lot cooler.
Well, I've seen that joke where it's like, how they feminize movies if men did that to like women films. They're just watching Barbie and they're all just hugely racked or whatever.
Just bimbos walking.
Everybody's having fights. It's like, what?
Change Sense and Sensibility into an action movie.
Just to cater to men or whatever. Just everybody's punching and fighting and stuff. Just give me an hour-long kung fu fight. You could tell the story in glances. All right, just.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, just you could tell story in glances and people interacting with each other. You don't have to do much more complicated than that. what is it? The Tony Jaa movie. Somebody stole my elephant. Great. I'm going to fight my
Oh,
way to
yeah.
getting the elephant back. Hey, how about somebody stole the head to my Buddha statue in my village? I'm going to go punch people until they give me the head to the Buddha statue back.
I'm gonna beat some ass.
They did that with Pride and Prejudice. They made Pride and Prejudice and zombies. It was terrible. They tried to take that and make it into a guy thing, and it was awful. I didn't actually see the movie. I read the book it was based on, and the parts that were original by Jane Eyre, I believe it was, they were great. They were awesome. The parts that they put in where they're fighting zombies and stuff, that was crap. So awful. And then they decided to make a movie about it.
Anyway, we have a comment from Cap Cruz. What if the fun y'all are talking about is objectionable to people because men's fun tends to be based in violence? I don't care.
Don't care.
Least in these cases. Yeah, I don't give a shit. The fact that I'm supposed to care whether or not somebody who's not interested in it doesn't like it or find it objectionable is meaningless to me. I don't insert myself into the stuff you like. Why do you insist on inserting yourself into stuff that I like? It's fun violence. It's not like I'm standing there shooting poor children in the head or stomping people's heads and watching them explode. There is a difference between the ridiculousness of it. And it seems like a lot of people seem to forget there's an aspect to men where we're meant to be physical, like it's ingrained in us. Guys play football and sports and then they don't let it go and watch football and sports for the rest of their life because there's a physical aspect to being a guy that they enjoy that physical stuff. They enjoy the stupid fun of wrestling. They enjoy the stupid fun of the silly violence and whatnot. But it's not even just violence for the sake of violence. It's cool fights. If it was violence for the sake of violence, by that argument, I could just watch one guy shooting people for 2 hours. And it's like, like maybe if he's running around and being more dynamic, but no, just shooting just one row of children and just shooting them. It was like, oh, well, no, that's gross and I don't like it. Because it's not just that. There's more to it than that.
Right. Well, not only that, but if you have an objection to it, then don't watch it.
Well, no, this is where it becomes the problem. They don't like it, and they don't like that we like it. That's the problem. It's not that, well, you don't have to watch the movie. No, they don't want you to like it.
Right. No, I get that. That's the part where their preferences, I don't care. I don't care what your preference is. If it's your preference, go do your own thing. Leave mine alone. But it's one of those things where I don't understand their desire to shoehorn themselves in where they're not wanted.
They hate that you like it.
I don't do that to you.
No, they want to ruin it for you. It's not even the reciprocal. It's not the, well, I don't do it to you. Why do you have to insert? They don't want you to enjoy yourself. They don't want you to like movies that they find objectionable. They want to insert their own stuff into it so it changes so that it's more catering to maybe their sensibilities or maybe how they think things should be portrayed. And then the movies suck ass. And then we have stupid things in He-Man, and we have really bad action movies that no one wants to see. And then everything just becomes terrible. And then Hollywood does poorly. And then we're all sitting around shocked, like with our arms in the air going, I don't know what happened. Well, it's because you demonized anything men enjoyed. And then you looked around surprised when men don't watch the stuff because they don't enjoy what you're giving them. You do realize we have different sensibilities and things we like. And simply demonizing other people for stuff they like is not going to accomplish anything. Nope. There was a recent study that made a big hoopla in England where they were polling across genders, their opinions of the other genders. And they asked men what their opinion of women were. And it was like 72% of men were like, yeah, I like women. And the expectation is that toxic, insular men are just hate women. It is the incels that are just out there just hating women. And the actual stats on it is the vast majority of men like women. Yeah, they're like the statistic for the amount of men that hate women was like 7%. It wasn't that many. So the whole dude bros on the internet that hate women and the incels thing, even if you subjectively, no, that's true, they're so dangerous, it's not statistically true. Your delusion makes you think that it's true. But here's the kicker. A third of women said they hated men.
Yeah, the amount of women in that study that it vastly outweighed the number of men.
Dramatic difference. And this is why you see it reflected in media where it's like, I don't like that you like stuff and I'm going to ruin it because I hate men. It's like, really? So this is your whole motivation is I don't like it. Well, I don't care if you don't like it. No, I'm going to ruin it. I'm going to complain. I'm going to be active on the internet. And then men just won't like it and they won't go see it. And then the movie will do poorly. And people will lose hundreds of millions of dollars. And then we'll be sitting here with failing movie studios because they lack the capacity. I mean, this is the exact problem that happened with Marvel. Marvel's doing amazing. Oh, yeah. One of the biggest, most cinematic success stories in history. It was changing theaters. The Marvel Cinematic Universe was a success story, movie to movie to movie, clearing into the Infinity War and Endgame. And what did we get behind the scenes? Why aren't there more women superheroes? Why aren't more women pushed forward to the front? Why aren't more women active in these? And here's the thing. I like women superheroes, but it wasn't that there wasn't enough women superheroes. It's I wanted certain representation.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that women don't even like the move, like the vast majority of people, I guarantee you, and I think the stats prove this out, that the majority of people that went and saw Captain Marvel were men. Not women.
Most likely.
Despite the fact that they made the movie for women. And I'm not trying to make this like a gender thing. What I am saying is there are men. There's a reason why men like the things that they do. And simply changing it to cater to demographics that aren't active fans of these things. Just so that you can appease a group or feel better about your politics. And this is why He-Man's going to fail is because, and this is why as far as I can tell, Street Fighter will succeed, is they know their audience. That's not difficult. They know who they're talking about. And the stupid thing is women like the things men like. Like I said, I showed it to my mother and she said it looked awesome. And it's like, that's because it's fun. Why can't we just have fun? It's stupid fun. Basic storytelling.
Well, not only that.
Guy goes to punch a guy because he's a bad guy. Success. Yeah. I'm happy with it.
And we talked about this before, where if you get the guys to go, they'll oftentimes bring the women with them.
No, but they're going to fold their arms and be like, well, why isn't the woman in the front having the... I mean, this is exactly why Daredevil is failing. And it's not because just that it's badly written, which it is. And it's not because there are women in the story, which is fine. It's because how they're represented. I'll get that in really quickly. Let's see. Capcom makes a comment. What if they're thinking that violence is a learned behavior instead of innate one? It's innate. It's not a learned behavior. It's horseshit.
Well, right, but
what if the social? Let me finish reading her comment, Jason. What if the social ramifications of funny, ridiculous violence equates to more? There's no statistic that proves that. And in fact, most statistics when it comes to relation to violent video, because they did extensive studies with violent video games to prove that violent video games results in actual violence. And there is no correlation whatsoever. And they've been trying to prove that there's a connection because there's a political motivation to prove that there is because of politicians that have been trying to attack violent video games for years and years and years. They did the effort. They did the scientific studies. There's no correlation between it in any way because people who watch violence don't go forward and start punching people because they saw something that's violent. They've never found that. The only correlation that they've been able to find with violent video games is an increase in aggression, which is, I guess, the best that they could prove, but it hasn't resulted in violence. And this hasn't been a thing with movies. I don't go watch somebody shoot somebody and go, that's imitatable. Anyway, Jason, you're
Yeah, exactly. Well, so one of the things that this comes down to is that they've been trying to do this before violent video games even were a thing. They tried to do this with comics.
Yes, this was the thing with comics.
Before video games even existed, they're like, oh, violent comics cause violence. And every time they've tried to prove something of this nature, it's never gone anywhere.
No, because it's not
Ever.
true. Well,
Exactly.
and a lot of that comes down to, well, this is going to get slightly political. It's a political worldview that they believe that human beings exist in a tabula rasa state, and that a lot of the negative aspects of humankind are actually taught behaviors, and that's not. That's not true.
No.
The major differences you find in human beings in gender is certain interest aspects. The main difference you find in human beings across nationalities is cultural. But as far as it's not taught violent behavior. No, media had there's no media that's proven that.
Yeah.
Regardless, where are we going, Ross? How do you feel about all this?
I mean, look, I'm excited for because the thing is, the violence in the Street Fighter movie, near as we can tell, is very like cartoonish, over the top.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah,
it's them trying to take the idea of the street, especially like Street Fighter 2, and like let's make that a movie. And like, there's no way to do it because that's a game with sprites and all sorts. Like, it's not exactly realistic looking. But that's okay, because, but that, to be fair, that is a challenge. Like, I think most, well, and as we saw kind of with the Street Fighter movie in the 90s, and I know you like it, Rhett, but like, that movie was kind of hindered by maybe trying to make it a little bit more serious than it should have been.
Agree.
Where it's like, because, at least with
where he
Mortal Kombat,
he had his own private military and he was a terrorist or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, we don't need that. That's... Whereas, like, with Mortal Kombat, like, they can lean into the violence, which, again, maybe the 90s movie didn't do enough of that. They kind of did, but whereas the newer ones, very much so. And that's probably an easier thing to lean on. It's easier to be a hard R over the top. It's a lot harder to be over the top and appealing without being overly cartoonish. But from the trailers we've seen so far, I think they are riding that line very well.
Yeah, where it's fun as opposed to just, I'm going to start. The thing is, in the Mortal Kombat stuff, is you're going to push a lot of the more violence, ridiculousness, which Mortal Kombat as a concept always used to. It's just excessive violence. But the young boys are like, oh my gosh, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The gore, so to speak. I suppose you could start leaning into impressionableness when it comes to gore and violence as opposed to anything else. We have another comment from Cap Cruz. By the way, I'm just playing the other side here. I do agree with y'all. The Street Fighter trailer looks really fun. Well, I appreciate it. The devil's advocate sort of thing. It's funny when we were having this discussion, I was thinking about learned habits or behaviors when it comes to watching something, and you could make a similar argument with perceptions of romantic movies.
Yeah,
because every popular romance movie that you can count, every single one is instigated by women committing infidelity. Titanic, she is engaged to the guy, betrays him, sleeps with a random dude in steerage, steals the family heirloom worth millions of dollars, and runs away with it. And then the rest of her life, she pines over a guy she slept with once, despite the fact she gets married and has children, and then they have children. And then she's holding a very valuable thing that's owned by another family. Had this for years. still is thinking about the guy she slept with, not the guy she was married with. And then decides to chuck it in the ocean. Her family can't use that money. The people who spent ridiculous amounts of time and money trying to find that medallion can't use that money. She just doesn't care and throws it in the ocean. Look at The Notebook. The whole movie is about her with somebody else cheating on the guy she's with. That's what the movie's about, is cheating on the other guy. Freaking You've Got Mail. She's dating a guy and flirting with another guy on the internet.
What do you mean? Hey, whoa.
Yeah.
Sleepless in Seattle. She's with another guy. She hears him talking about missing his wife on the radio, decides that she wants to go chase him down in Seattle.
Yeah.
Cap Crew says romance movies are horrifying when you state the facts. How to Lose a Guy in 10. Absolutely. If you actually think about it for 5 seconds, you're like, oh, romances are really terrible. Basically, the woman fantasy is, I'm with a guy and I found a better one and I'm going to try and slide that direction.
Even better.
Even better option. I mean, how many classic romantic movies, romantic comedies or whatever, do you have to go down the list of every... Name me one that didn't involve infidelity.
Well...
and this is the reason why I can talk about all these movies in details, because I've seen them, because I like romantic comedies, because I think they're stupid.
Right, do you know what I almost said as a joke and then realized it wouldn't work?
What's that?
Pearl Harbor, but that doesn't work either.
Well, because she's married to this guy who goes off to fight in Britain, who she thinks dies, then hooks up with the friend, and then the guy that she was with comes back, and then the friend, and then they have this awkward, like the best friends are like, oh, this was my girlfriend, and now you're with her. I thought you were dead. He dies, and she's pregnant with the friend that's dead. And she has to now get together with the previous guy she was in a relationship with. It's so ridiculous.
Very silly.
Pride and Prejudice without infidelity. Yeah, there's a lot of knowing glances that might be considered inappropriate. No, it's Pride and Prejudice. The thing is, Pride and Prejudice is a classic. And a lot of people would say that it's not great because it takes so long and all the will they, won't they, and Mr. Darcy. It's actually a very charming story.
Yeah, that's the tension. The will they, won't they is the point.
That's the tension
of those
yes.
kind of things.
No,
Yeah,
Pride and Prejudice is a beautiful story. I know, yeah.
There's the one sister
that
who runs off with some dude and they have to go get him.
Well, yeah, but it's not seen as desirable.
Right. They definitely frown on that.
Yeah, Pride and Prejudice is great, but the thing is, telling people it's like, well, a good romance, and it's like, how many young girls are to be like, well, go read Pride and Prejudice during the Victorian age when they had good romance. Tell them to like awkwardly try and pursue your guy, and whether or not the relationship will. It's like, no, that's boring.
And then there
Sometimes
was While You Were Sleeping, but even then, that one was
While You Were
skirting it in a couple of areas.
I don't know about While You Were Sleeping. She pretends that she was his fiance when he's in a coma, and then develops a relationship with the family while he's in to the point where they fall in love with her, and she's great, and then he wakes up and he doesn't remember, and what she's supposed to go through with this. But here's the problem, Jason. She develops a romantic relationship with the brother, even though she's pretending to be engaged to the guy that's unconscious.
No, I get it. And I was going to say there's also the brother who was in the coma. He was actually sleeping with some other guy's wife.
Yes. See, she's cheating on a guy she was pretending to have a relationship with.
These hoes.
They're all over the place. And see, that's what's so disappointing. That's one thing, because we're talking about, the awesome men movies. I'm really disappointed with a lot of the quality of the female, at least when it comes to some women representation, because women don't always have to be super tough. But look at what's that stupid movie? Tom Hanks. He's retarded. Tom Hanks is retarded.
Oh, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. Anyway, Jenny in that movie is a genuine horrible
Jenny's
person
awful.
that takes advantage of a dard. She's a bad person.
Jenny.
Forrest Gump, who is nothing but innocent and caring, and she just dumps on him. Uses him, gets pregnant with him. Maybe she had AIDS at the time. Like, Jenny's a bad person. Genuinely a bad person. And Forrest Gump's like, oh, I still love you, Jenny. It's like, I guess if you don't want to date the tard in your neighborhood that's attracted to you, he's always your backup plan when you ruin your life with drugs and then have AIDS. At least he has a lot of money to take care of your AIDS baby, who will eventually go on to see dead people. So I don't know why. Like, see, that's what AIDS does to you. It gives you the power to see dead people.
These are facts.
These are facts. Cap Crew says the romantic comedy is dead. It really is. There used to be some
super.
bangers out there.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that? The Joker was in it, where he made this bet, and then he became attracted to her because he dated her. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's not infidelity, but he is a piece of shit in the beginning, where he's dating her just so that her sister can go on a date, because the dad said you can't go on a date unless your sister has a date, and the sister hates men.
Right.
And so the Joker
All
shows
based
up.
on Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah.
The Joker and also the guy from Four Feathers. Who
Also the
had
guy
redeemed himself.
Excuse me. The guy from Knight's Tale.
When you said Joker, I immediately jumped to Jared Leto, and I'm like, which movie is? What is he
Oh
talking
God,
about?
no! He's known
No.
for being murdered. He's Paul Allen. He gets murdered.
Yeah, he
Oh, I
gets,
know it's
he
American
gets
Psycho.
punched
Heath Ledger.
until his face is messed up because he's too pretty.
Yeah, that one too. Yes.
And also he's Skeletor. See, that's what he looks like after Fight Club.
Uh-huh.
Our Fight Club.
The long running narrative of Jared Leto after everything. He goes through the Fight Club thing and then eventually becomes a cult leader, and it becomes the Joker, and then he just gives up, becomes Skeletor.
No.
Set It Up. I'm trying to remember Set It Up. I've seen a lot of romantic comedies.
You've seen so many.
Like there were days where I kept showing up and being like, dude, I'm watching these ridiculous movies. Netflix Set It Up. I haven't seen Netflix Set It Up. No. It's got Glenn Powell in it, who's the smarmy guy who's got the smile that makes you want to punch him.
And his eyes slightly too close together.
Slightly too close together. Pete Davidson. Ew. Pete Davidson exists because of 9/11.
9/11.
What? Remember that freaking 50 Shades of Grey doesn't exist if it wasn't for 9/11?
Oh my God. Yes.
Because, Jason, here's the narrative. The guy that created My Chemical Romance, the band,
Gerard
witnessed
Way.
9/11 and worked on one of the passenger things, ferrying people across the river. And he was there for
Okay.
9/11. And that emotional event made him create My Chemical Romance. And the music for My Chemical Romance ended up creating Twilight after
Oh.
Stephanie Meyer listened to My Chemical Romance and then wrote Twilight, the vampire show. And 50 Shades of Grey was written because it was a fan fiction of of the
Twilight,
people
yeah.
in Twilight hooking up. And it's all 9/11's fault.
Thanks, 9/11. Thanks, Osama.
Thanks, Osama bin Laden. And if it wasn't for 50 Shades of Grey and the profile it gave those actors, we wouldn't have that stupid Spider movie. The the Sony Spider movie, I'm sorry.
Oh, Madam Web?
We wouldn't have Madam Web because she was in Madam Web.
It's true.
And the guy who was in 50 Shades of Grey, like Mr. Grey, I think is cast as the new Aragorn in the Gollum movie.
He is. Yes, he is.
Thanks, Osama.
Thanks, Osama.
Ruined it for the rest of us. Then they're just ruining Lord of the Rings. Osama bin Laden ruined Lord of the Rings.
It's all his fault.
It really did.
Hell of a thing to say.
What, you tell me had a positive influence? Terrorist.
Terrorist!
Gotta get them Terrys.
Clouncing them.
Clounce them younts.
God.
I have a question. Feel free to say no. Would you switch seats with me? I will not accept no for an answer.
I will not accept no for an answer.
What's that? Do you have a box cutter? 1.5 inches, perfectly legal. Good times. I want to say I'm excited for Street Fighter. I'm sorry. I want to see this movie.
You shouldn't be sorry.
Why? It was funny because I'm talking to Ross earlier. It's like, why do we have to feel weird about like, oh, they're making a movie that guys are going to like. It's going to be fun. When was the last time we got that?
We shouldn't.
Forever.
We shouldn't feel weird or ashamed that they're making a movie that guys are going to like. What they want us to feel that way because that's how they get rid of those kind of movies is they make us feel ashamed that we're doing something dirty or something. And it's like, no, this is just fun, mindless entertainment. Get off your high horse.
Wow, they're ruining Daredevil.
Oh, what do you mean? People are talking about it so much.
About how bad it is?
Well,
yeah,
literally in the
not even that.
thumbnails, there's a picture of Karen Page standing in front of Daredevil as they're going down the hall, and it's like, why is she the dominant person in this? Like, should Daredevil be in front of you fighting? What are we doing?
No
here?
man.
No, she doesn't. Well,
she doesn't need no superhero.
I mean, the perfect example of how, because Daredevil does it like 4 or 5 times where they replace a man with a woman. And it's like, just make a good female character. How come you have to replace a guy and then use his credentials to make your character better? Like
because they can't do that.
Well, because they don't know how to write women. They make the men, they make the bad men, or they make them over the top and like flawless and stuff. Like the perfect example of how they screwed this up was Iron Fist, the TV show. I actually really like the Iron Fist. I love Daredevil more, and I'm not even talking about the TV shows as characters. Daredevil is up there as maybe my favorite superhero, but it's like between him, Batman, and Spider-Man, which is obviously very normie. Like, oh, Batman and Spider-Man. It's like, I mean, I love the idea of Captain America, but they screw up his comics constantly. And I love the idea of Superman, but his comics are just good and bad sort of thing. But I love those 3 characters. I have extensive, like, Daredevil comics. Like, if you look at my shelf, Ross, you've probably seen, Jason knows. Shelf full of Daredevil. Like, I love the character. But I also really like Iron Fist. I like those street level heroes. And then you watch Iron Fist, the TV series they made for Netflix, and at some point he decides he doesn't want to be the Iron Fist anymore. Like, to be clear, the Iron Fist has to go through a trial and beat the trial to get the blessing from the ancient dragon to get the powers of the Iron Fist. And in season 2, he's like, I don't feel like I'm good enough to be the Iron Fist. It's like, why did you make all that effort, everything you overcame to become the Iron Fist, to kind of have self-doubt and feel bad, and then just give it to the girl because she's better, who hasn't accomplished the trials that you have, who didn't get the blessing of the dragon? You just give your powers
I'm
to her?
sorry.
I'm here
That kind of,
to watch Iron Fist, not girl in show of Iron Fist. And I think they don't quite understand this. It's like, I want to watch Daredevil be Daredevil and do cool Daredevil stuff. I'm not interested in Karen Page being the main character and beating up people. I'm not interested in Daredevil's love interest suddenly becoming Muse villain girl. I'm not interested. I'm interested in Kingpin as a villain, not Kingpin's girlfriend as villain. I'm not interested in Ben Urich's daughter somehow being street activist interviewer girl. Like, at some point, I want to watch a show about Daredevil. Is that really that hard? Can I watch a show about Iron Fist where he doesn't feel bad and depressed and a loser, and then gives his powers to the closest girl because she's just better than me? Oh, well, this isn't really that much of a trend. They did this in Moon Knight, where they created a girl who's also as good as Moon Knight, who's honestly better than him in Moon Knight, because Moon Knight's kind of a loser, but the girl is better than him in Moon Knight. What are we doing? How come we have to create these character stories and then just replace them with female characters in the show? At no point, if I'm going to watch a show with a female character, let's say Jessica Jones, am I interested at any point in a guy showing up and being like, I'm the better Jessica Jones, and just replace her? Like, that would be bullshit. It's because I'm there for her. I'm not interested in any of the ancillary characters. I don't want men to be more important or stand like, well, I'm just better than you. It's like, why is it so confusing that if when I watch Daredevil, I want it to be about Daredevil? He's there. He's why I'm there. I'm not there for Karen. I don't care about her. I didn't like her in the original series. Why? She's like single. She was a drug addict, and then a secretary, and then a reporter, and then in the new series, she's beating up cops. Single-handedly beating up cops. This scrawny white woman. What are we doing? They wrote into the show where Kingpin's wife, when he was in prison, became in charge of his assets and was better at being Kingpin than him.
Oh my gosh.
Why? It's so comically stupid. If I were to write how they would just undermine all the male characters, make all the women super awesome, you would be like, well, this is ridiculous. Who would write this? Is every male character? Yes. Every male. You were going to get to the point where Daredevil at the end of it just hands his batons to some lady or something.
Yeah. You
do it. And then the next Daredevil series, he'll just be depressed and she'll be running around beating up guys for him. It's like, our boys not allowed to have stuff that they enjoy. We just have to ruin it every time. It's like, if I watch a Black Widow show, I want to be a Black Widow. I'm not interested in her being replaced or outshone or about other ancillary characters. I'm interested in being about Black Widow. But somehow this is confusing. There's got to be a female character that's just as good, if not better, who inherits the title, who also inherits the powers, and then we're just kind of make it about them. And what? So you just want me to hate everything you make nowadays?
Yes.
Much.
I'm sorry. I like Daredevil, and this is pissing me off.
Yeah. The thing is as you said, they don't know how to write a character at all.
They don't know how to write good women. Yeah.
Yeah. On top of that, for some reason, they've decided that if they just piggyback their person off of the person we like, that's going to automatically translate into us liking them too.
Well, and that's the
And when has
fundamental
that ever worked?
misunderstanding of these characters. It's the idea
Yeah.
that you can take the mantle and pass it on, and somehow it rubs off. That the superhero like Peter Parker isn't a great character. It's just the spider powers. So we just give the spider powers to other people, and they're just as good. It's like they're not just
Right.
as good. Peter Parker's good because he's Peter Parker, not because of the spider powers. If they gave him like if it was any other power, Peter Parker would still be an interesting character.
Yeah. Yeah.
They lack every time they run into making a show, they lack understanding of who these characters are. And when you watch the Street Fighter trailer, you're like, oh, it looks like as over the top and ridiculous as the Street Fighter characters are. It's like, yeah, that looks like ridiculous Guile stuff, and that's fun. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, it's Ken, but it's like the wealthy version of Ken, where Ken has this weird drama in the actual lore of Street Fighter, where it's like wife and kids are murdered, and he gets all bitter about it. So I don't know if that's what's showing up in the show. Chun-Li and her motivations and stuff, and it's like it's just they're over the top characters and they're fun. Like, just get the characters right. Honor the source material. Because if fans love it, they will champion the show. But if you screw it up, we will hate the crap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we'll let everybody know.
We will preach about it and talk about it on the internet. And I mean, there's a lot of... Ross, did you look at the Godzilla trailer?
I did.
What'd you think?
I mean, I am excited. I loved -1.
Yeah, I did.
It was really, really good. It was really well done.
That was a Ross and Rhett date.
It was. That was. And it was a great date.
Yeah.
a
We
fine
go to
film.
see movies that cross over our interests, so it's like Iron Claw and Joker. and
Go get real sad and watch Iron Claw.
yeah. Iron Claw, the saddest. It's so sad that they left out one
They left out a brother.
Yeah. Because there was too much sad. It's funny. I told my mother about it, and it's like, "Oh, you want to watch it?" She's like, "No, I don't want to watch it."
Absolutely not. Are you insane?
I was like, "But it's really good." And she's like, "I don't want to watch a movie where everybody offs themselves." It's like, I know.
No,
It's just real sad.
It's just even sad.
Well, of course, Megalopolis is part of that. Like, we went and saw that stupid nonsense.
You mean that amazing film, that amazing experience?
It was an experience, I can tell you that.
So good.
Look for our review on this channel.
Yes, it's a fine review.
or the terrible 28 years later.
Oh, that's the one that really made me sad.
I can actually watch Bone Temple on Netflix now. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, because why would you? My God.
I know, I can watch it and be like, oh, it's bad. And then I wasted a couple hours. Like, I'm still struggling. Like, I haven't finished Weapons, and it's supposed to be really good.
It's very good.
So that's what I'm told. Like, why would I waste my time watching movies that just aren't going to be good?
Yeah.
Because you hate life and you want to make it difficult for yourself.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
I want to have fun when I watch things. Sometimes you watch bad stuff for the sake of because it's fun bad or.
Oh, sure.
Like,
some people don't make those kind of movies anymore, though. Well, Megalopolis is probably the closest.
Oh my God, that movie's almost watching with somebody because it's so ridiculously stupid and bad.
It's very dumb.
Like, I would watch it again, but I would have to watch it with a new person and just be like, like, what was that?
Crazy?
I don't know. It's ridiculous and bad. Yeah, I know it's bad. I remember running into my mom. She was watching 28 Years Later, and she's halfway through it, and I was like, "Oh, you're not gonna like that movie." She's like, "No, so far it's really good." It's like, "You're not gonna like this movie."
The ending will upset you greatly.
Because the first half you think it's going places and it's really good. By later on that night, I was like, "Oh, so what'd you think of it?" She's like, "It was terrible," and I was like, "Yeah, it was." Like, that movie was really bad. I was like, yes, it was a really bad movie, Mom.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Brett, do you want to hear some bullshit?
Oh, do I?
Because I was curious.
Yes.
Megalopolis received a physical home media release in Europe following its theatrical run, but did not receive a physical home media release in North America.
Oh.
I was going to say, I was thinking like, oh man, Rhett birthday or Christmas coming up.
just to screw with me, you're giving me a copy of Megalopolis.
Here you go. Here's a terrible movie we watched that you are fascinated by how dog shit it is. And it is fascinatingly dog shit.
Oh, it was funny because Ross kept looking over at me and I was just like enraptured trying to figure out what the crap this thing was. I've never sat next to somebody in a movie and they turn to me and go, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I was really just blown. Like it was like I was trying to understand like shit drawings on a bathroom wall.
The hell is all this?
Like I was trying to divine the secrets of the universe and these weird hieroglyphs written in shit in this bathroom at a Denny's.
It was beautiful.
This has to mean something. It
So
does.
why would you do this otherwise?
Why would you do this otherwise? Francis Ford
Rhett goes
Coppola
back home.
drew this on the wall.
Yeah, Rhett goes back home and gets out the red yarn and starts putting up pictures and
It's like
Doing
I'm trying
Need something.
to
puzzle
solve
board.
that Zodiac killer code that people couldn't break.
Oh my
it's
god.
got secrets in it. We'll find out who he was.
I'm almost there. I know it.